Maybe you were laid up sick in bed. Maybe you woke up and your goldfish was dead. You might be getting older and you just can't drive at night. There's a lot of reasons that you might have missed church, but you can still dig into the Word. So pull up a chair and open up your mind to Rock Mountain Live. Rock Mountain Live, it's time to thrive. Don't hit the snooze, we got good news. Oh, Rock Mountain Live.
Morning, everybody. Welcome to Rock Mountain Live. Here we are, Friday morning, 7 a.m. It is October the 3rd. Guys, as they say, can you believe it's October?
Do they say that?
They do say
That's
that.
why I'm wearing orange.
Yeah. Well,
October.
October 31st.
Yeah.
Protestant.
Reformation Day.
Wear orange.
How are we dressed today?
I don't know.
I feel like this is showing my underwear. I don't like that.
Magellan.
I don't like that. And you have the same. In fact, you've got like a. But the thing is, we're going to play disc golf after. I don't know. That makes a difference. And so I'm going to take this off and go.
Yeah.
But this shirt rocks and rolls. Absolutely. In fact, that's perfect. So Jason R. Rice is back with us. And have you been to Death Valley National Park? Is that?
I did. I went to Death Valley. I was in northern Arizona, southern Utah.
Grand Canyon?
No.
No,
we were about 100 miles from the Grand Canyon.
There's better stuff there than the Grand Canyon.
I mean, better is subjective, but
Sure.
That's right.
there's other stuff.
Did you go to the hot springs?
No.
Okay.
No. Went to Horseshoe Bend. That was a pretty cool
Saw
place.
some of the Milky Way over the Horseshoe Bend.
Yeah.
You called it Milky Bend or what?
Galactic Bend.
Galactic Bend? Yeah. So cool.
Yeah.
Such talent.
was
So
fun
I'm told by Gavin when you walked in, you've got a story to tell. So let's lead with Jason's story. Oh, by the way, before you tell the story, thank you to Jeremy DiBenedetto and to Tim Hassler for filling that seat for you.
Yeah.
But it's good to have Jason R. Rice back with us. And,
Brought in the big guns while I was gone.
brought in the big guns, sure did.
I know a guy.
Know a guy. So now to the story. So this I'm sure will be good.
Yeah, good, and just depends on how you see good, but it does have a good ending. So we're leaving Death Valley to come catch our flight. This is last Friday, or no, last Saturday, and we're pulling out at me and my buddy at 4:15 a.m. And we see
It's too early, you know.
We see
A coyote.
Yeah, we know.
Oh.
We see a human child in the parking lot by themselves.
About how old are we talking?
About 2 years old.
Oh.
And so I was thinking, oh, they're leaving and the mother's just about to just walk out any second. No, there was not a mother that walked out any second. The child was just out there by themselves. And so we went over there and got the child and we're like, where's your mommy? And they were like, I want my mommy. We're like, yeah, that's what we're trying to find.
Speaking of her,
We
where
want
is
you
she?
to have your mommy as well.
So the child was just out there by themselves. Apparently, well, we called security, hotel security. They came real quick. The manager
Did you
came.
transform into Superman, like
No.
pull a shirt? Like, okay, we're...
So, and I was sitting there thinking, what in the world's happening here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Did it go through your mind at any time, someone could think I'm responsible for this?
Yeah, no,
criminally?
that's why we called security
Yeah.
as soon as possible. And, there was two of us, too. So it was like,
Yeah.
So they came, they called the ranger for the park. And anyway, they found the...
Call the ranger!
Ranger. So you're still in the park.
We're still in the national park. Yeah.
But you called the hotel.
Security.
So you're close to a hotel?
We were in the hotel.
In the hotel.
We're in the hotel parking lot.
At the park.
In the park. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So ended up the child just left the hotel room like in the night and the parents didn't wake up.
Oh, wow.
So
We got a sleepwalker on our
And I
hands.
bet
and
the
the
door,
parents-
locked
it's one of those latch.
automatically.
You know.
Couldn't get back in, went
Yep.
outside.
Yep.
Poor kid.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
They found the parents though.
Were you there for the moment where
No.
mom realizes
Were you
my child
there?
is gone?
No.
Did you say unfit mother?
Can you imagine how bad they felt then?
I will
goodness
swaddle this
gracious.
child.
So tell us about the child. I mean, boy, girl, what was the child was just very sad,
Well, we
upset?
thought no, the child seemed fine. Like the child was well taken care of, and
Like just wandering around in their jammies?
yeah, Spider-Man
Sick.
jammies. So we thought it was a boy, but it turned out it was a girl.
Oh,
Girls can like Spider-Man.
But it was dark
why
too.
not? Spider-Man's very
Spider-Man's fine.
universal,
Wide appeal.
wide appeal. Absolutely.
But it was strange end to a good trip.
Yeah. Isn't it weird that for every superhero there is also a girl counterpart to that? Like Superman, Supergirl, Spider-Man.
Cat.
Wait, there's
Woman,
there's a
Batman.
Spider-Woman?
There's a Spider-Girl. is what she's
Spider-Girl?
called. Yep.
She never got the popularity of
Yeah, she's a C-list superhero. She gets less pay as well.
But then there's Wonder Woman, and there actually is a Wonder Man.
Superman, Wonder Woman,
I suppose, but I think Wonder Woman.
Batman, Catwoman,
No, Batman,
Batgirl.
Batgirl.
What's
She's
the
Batgirl.
counterpart to Catwoman?
She's a criminal.
Black Panther.
She's a criminal. She's not. She
She's
doesn't
a
have
bad guy.
counterpart.
Gotcha.
Counterpart. Yeah.
Well, listen, not all heroes wear capes. Am I right?
That's not why I told that story. It was just a weird story.
Well, I'm thankful, on a serious note, that you guys were there. Think about all the horrible things that could have happened to the kid.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
wanders off. I mean, you're in
She.
You're in a pretty remote area.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing else around.
Oh, I can hear the Eagles playing. You
Yeah.
know. So on a dark desert highway, and this poor kid standing there by himself. But there you were to swoop in.
Well, crisis averted.
Yes.
I wish you were there for the moment where, it's kind of like when you see an accident on the side of the road and you're like, Lord, I hope everyone's okay. But I kind of got to see what's the damage here.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see the moment where she freaks out.
Well,
and she's like, ah! And you're
we
like,
had to
you're
really-
welcome, man.
Yeah, here you go. Here's the child.
We had to
Here's your
really,
child.
we had to really bug the hotel for them to even tell us what happened.
Yeah.
And at first they were like, "Oh, we can't really say" or something.
Privacy
And we're like,
concerns. Yeah.
"What? We found the kid. You
Yeah.
can tell us if
We're
Anyway.
the heroes here.
Yeah. Well, I want to welcome everybody in who's watching now, watching live, or watching later. This is Rock Mountain Live is, according to recent studies, in the top 5 podcasts in the United States of America. And the studies are very, very
academic.
they're very academic. It's really like, for example, I think it is one of the top 5. Like it's according to me, it's maybe the best podcast in the whole
What
world.
about
People are
this?
saying.
People
Yeah.
are saying
Yeah.
top
That's
top
very-
5
very
dentists.
Trump-esque.
9 out of 10 dentists say.
What about this phrase that you'll see in articles when people will make an outlandish claim? Research suggests.
Research suggests Rock Mountain Live is top 5 in the United States.
There may be a link between awesome podcasts and Rock Mountain Live.
We may not even be a podcast. This could just be, I don't even know what this is. I'm not sure what we're doing.
vodcast.
All I know is it seems like people kind of like it.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're drawing some churches together and some, So, for example, about our churches, I was thinking I should say Rock Mountain Lakes Baptist Church is having a fall festival on October the 19th. Sunday, October the 19th at 6 to 8. It is kind of legendary here. Before I got here, it was like a 400, 500 people thing, and it's maintained that. There's people that come every year. We have a hayride and all this stuff.
I've been to it.
Yeah, very talented people working on the games and stuff. So shout out to the church. But I also saw you're having a fest and you're having a trunk or treat.
Trunk or treat.
What's the
October
story?
26th.
26.
That's all I know. Trunk or treat.
Probably
Chili cook-off.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
I want the chili.
Chili
But yours is the
Come on.
26th too.
Yeah.
We may have to rotate around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring the kids.
Yeah.
What? You're in the gym
We're in the gym. Yeah.
to
And there'll
avoid
be-
rain. Is that the?
I don't know.
Well, last year was hot, super hot. The year before it was
Yeah.
like 37
Freezing. It was
outside.
cold.
Isn't that
Yeah.
weird? That's right. All right, so yeah, our churches do those things as community outreach. We'd love to have you come by, or if you're probably most people who watch this know us and either go to one of our churches, but hey, invite somebody to come to one of these things. And let's see what else we've got here. On Do Share, I think we'll start with a little Do Share this morning because we're talking about what we're wearing. And I found this article that just came out this morning, October the 3rd, 2025, on the Desiring God website, which I like. Tanner K. Swanson, who I've never read anything by her, but she's a contributor here.
Guest contributor.
Does appearance matter to Christians? You know, and she's basically talking about, does it matter what I wear?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it's interesting because on the Crossroad Baptist website, Jason R. Rice is impeccably dressed.
To the nines.
Impeccably dressed.
Yes.
You know. And
which I never look like that on Sunday morning
or in real life.
Ever.
Yeah, general.
You look like a senator, sir.
And occasionally I'll pull out a suit here because why
just
not?
Throw everybody off.
Yeah, just throw everybody off.
Yeah.
But I do hate to wear a suit.
People say, "Who died?
it.
Who died?"
I hate it. Yeah. When let's see, I saw a podcast, probably a better one than this one actually, that had Sinclair Ferguson on, who's a great preacher, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and he was talking about John MacArthur and R.C. Sproul, and he said, and this guy's, you could do this accent better than me. He said John MacArthur was always beautifully dressed. Now R.C. Sproul, he could dress sharply, but John MacArthur, beautifully dressed,
Yeah.
always, you know.
Yes.
So I'm never gonna always be beautifully dressed. I don't want to be beautifully dressed. I think it's but does appearance matter to Christians? And so here's what she says. I'll read a bit. How do I look? For many, there are few questions we ask ourselves more often. We may not voice or even think the words, but our actions speak for us. In the morning, we wake and comb our hair. Pajamas find their way back to the drawer. Cracked knees see lotion. You can tell this is a girl, you know.
Clearly.
Oily noses get powder. Throughout the day, we frequent the mirrors in our bathrooms, pockets, and cars. After we eat, we pick food from our teeth. If we've lunched with friends, we're sure to alert them to stray spinach. Spilled coffee calls for a clean shirt. Even those who say, I don't care how I look, make some effort to look as if they don't care how they look.
Mm-hmm.
That
Very
was a
meta.
great statement.
Very meta.
Whether we climb into bed with a freshly washed face or with a month of unshaven growth, she's speaking to the guys now, at the end of the day, appearance matters to all of us. But should it matter to Christians? And then her answer is, of course, no and yes. They're very nuanced over at Desiring God.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
As we should be.
And so she kind of gets into the theology of dress and so on. And so now she lists some reasons why we should care. Hospitality. It's Friday afternoon at the local park. Imagine meeting a couple new to the area and inviting them to breakfast at your house. Then imagine opening your door at 9 o'clock the next morning dressed in your pajamas.
Right.
You don't smile, gesture, or nod. How long will it take for your guests to begin shuffling toward the door, weighed down by feelings of unwelcome? Okay. She also talks about...
It's just an interesting way of writing. You've lunched. Feelings of unwelcome.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
She British?
Chat GPT. Just kidding. I'm sure she'll never watch this podcast, but I'm just kidding. She does mention here on evangelism Hudson Taylor, who's a well-known missionary.
The great Hudson Taylor.
And how he brought about, his hairstyle was like the Chinese people he was trying to reach, you know. The male pigtail common in Chinese culture at the time. So she talks about evangelism. She talks about reverence, dress for the occasion, things of that nature. God's design. I once had a small crisis about whether it was inherently vain to paint my nails, but then she talks about femininity. And, expressing her femininity through painting her nails, wearing certain kinds of clothes and all that, which seems to be a very biblical idea.
Yep.
So anyway, that's the end of the article.
Yeah.
She just basically says, balance this thing out. Our appearance is not what makes us right before God or even before other people.
Yeah.
However, there are some good reasons to maybe dress for the occasion.
Well,
Context.
All situational or cultural context.
Yeah, sure.
And then there's the issue of just don't dress immodestly, and then you're good.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, with the context, it's like you don't want to be distracting. Like say you're in a worship setting, you know, obviously the modest thing, but you just want to dress like, you know, wherever you are, if you're at church, you know, in different cultures, you know, if I wore a suit to one church, I could be distracting because I'd be way overdressed. Or you go to another place, you'd be way underdressed, flip flops and Hawaiian shirt, and you'd be distracting because you're way underdressed. The main thing I think is just not to distract people.
Yeah, that's a great meta type of principle. Just I don't want to be distracted.
And I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah.
You know, even the Bible knew this was a deal. I mean, the book of James, he talks about giving preference to the one who comes in dressed in fine clothing, and here you have you take the good seat. So it's been a thing for many, many, many centuries.
I think so. I think even after all these years at Rock Mountain Lakes, 16 years I've been the pastor here. Which was here before I got here, which is we're kind of jeans to business casual, basically laid back on a Sunday morning, let's say. But there's always a couple of guys that want to wear a suit and tie, and they've sort of not anymore, So it really, the range of dress has kind of narrowed down to that jeans to business casual, type of situation. So if I do come in on a Sunday morning in a suit and tie to preach, people could look at that and say, oh, wow, he's dressed like a preacher, blah, blah, blah. Or they could look at that and say, that's a little bit distracting because that's not us. That's not what we do, So
I'll add this caveat. Even if it doesn't matter to me in principle, which it does not, really, it's still kind of
obvious.
It's obvious. Magellan, in your dreams, you can't afford this. But it still kind of matters whether you try for it not to matter at all. Because, we all know that guy who's, always dressed to the nines.
Yeah.
And I'll usually remark when I'm around that friend, I'm like, dude, you are always put together.
Yeah.
And it is like this thing where I think about this person, I'm like, I should buy some nicer clothes.
I think about
He's
that all the
sharp.
time. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. My thing with clothes is I'll buy some nicer clothes, but then I will never replace them. So 5 years later, I'm still wearing those nicer clothes, and like this shirt, and it's worn down and threadbare.
Well, you know the saying, too, dress for the job you want, not for the job you have. That's a saying.
Sure.
Right? I guess that's more of a corporate thing.
Do you think it's different for women?
No, yes.
Yes, I do. I think women are, on the whole, judged more harshly about their fashion than men are.
Yeah. Do we have any women viewers right now, Paige? Are you watching along? She should be here to help us.
This whole thing?
Just threw this on. I do think it's just a different thing.
Yeah, the beauty standards and fashion standards for women vary, painting with broad strokes here. Yeah, people have this expectation, and women themselves seem to have this expectation among themselves. I can't go out of the house looking like this. Most men don't say that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't care. I'm just saying culturally it feels that way.
Yeah.
And I don't mind saying that. That's not a hot take.
Here we are, Paige. I'm buying a shirt as we speak. She's on Amazon. Great.
There it is.
How much is it, Paige?
Yeah, you're like,
is it in the budget? I'm just kidding, babe. You buy whatever you want. Just keep it under $12. Okay, Randy Webb. I know a guy who was always dressed to the nines and only wore the Ben Hogan collection. Is that you?
Listen, that's a little inside baseball right there. I had these 3 shirts. Walmart, I don't know if you guys have heard of this store, used to carry a line of shirts called the Ben Hogan Signature Collection.
Yeah, just like a non-button down, like a polo shirt.
No. Well, maybe.
Okay.
But the ones I had were button down.
I see.
And they're actually really nice shirts.
Are they?
So that was the joke. I'd tell people people would be like, if anyone ever complimented my shirt, I'd be like, you keep dreaming. This is a Ben Hogan Signature collection available only at Walmart. And if you think you can afford this, I need to pinch you. You need to wake up.
Try it again. All right. Well, there you go. That's some neat thoughts about appearance this morning. I think,
you know what I'm saying.
Hey, if we're gonna boil it down, don't let your appearance be what you think justifies you before Jesus or others.
No.
But
Bad theology, bad Bible.
why not dress for the occasion? And like Jason said, let's don't distract, especially if it's a worship service, All right.
Yeah.
There we go. Let's see. We need to change gears to our top 7 list, and here we are. The top
listening
7 funniest moments recorded in the Bible. I like this list. I think there's a ton of funny stuff in the Bible. The reason I wanted to do this list is because it's like every time I preach or teach, it's like the Bible is full of tongue-in-cheek humor. Mm-hmm. It never comes out and says you should laugh right here.
There's some good stuff though.
But there's so much stuff in there that's like it's like a wink, wink.
Yeah.
Did you catch the joke? It's there.
One of these is my favorite funny story from the Bible.
Yeah,
that's on this list.
You're kind of an expert. I'll toot your horn in the book of Acts. So I imagine that one of these is from one of your favorites is from Acts. Yeah,
my dearest Theophilus.
There's Theophilus.
One is from Acts. That's my favorite one, actually.
Well, number 7 on this list, top 7 funniest moments in the Bible, is Jonah's plant meltdown. Mm-hmm. So, what's this story? Do y'all remember? Anybody?
I'll let Jason take it away.
It's where the tree grows up and then the sun kills it, and then he has no shade, and then he's all mad and wants to die.
He is bummed out.
Right?
Well, the sun is part of it, but there's also a worm.
Oh, the worm. Yeah.
So, Jonah is angry and mad, and he's sitting there in the hot sun.
Yeah.
And then the plant grows up over him because he built a little shelter, and now the only thing he's happy about is that he's got a little shade.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But he's still mad at the world, mad at God, mad at Nineveh. And then the worm eats the plant, and he literally melts down. Mm-hmm. And he says, "I want to die. I'm sick of this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sick of having to obey God. I've been in a fish for crying out loud. Now I got to preach to these idiots." And then God comes and says, it's such an interesting, it's one of these verses, maybe 10 or 11, says, "Should you really be this angry?" Yeah. And he says, "Yeah, I should be this angry.
All I wanted was a little shade."
And Nineveh to be destroyed.
Yeah, it's
You ever been like at the house and you're hungry and it's been a hard day, and this is a very specific situation. You're like, you know what? I'm going to make myself a bowl of cereal. And then you go to the refrigerator and
I know that. Oh, goodness.
And either the milk is spoiled or some moron in your family, I'm just kidding, has taken an empty milk jug and put it back in there. Seinfeld actually has a great bit about that where he's like, you pick up the milk, he's like, "You've got your paper, you've got your TV, you've got your remote, you've got your bowl of cereal," and you pick up the milk jug and, too late!
Too late.
Not bad.
All of life.
What's the deal?
What's the deal?
That's right.
Oh my.
Everything comes back.
Where's the milk?
Yeah. And you feel like Jonah. I just wanted a little milk.
God, please. I mean, I love this. Jonah 4 is one of my favorite chapters in the Bible. I just love that. I love the meltdown. I love the way he's, and then I love the way God comes is like, "Hey, 120,000 people got saved." Basically. That's right. And he said, not to mention that, in the way Jonah ends, but also all the animals there. Their lives were saved too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's the way the book of Jonah ends. Yeah. He's like, "You're mad about this plant." He's like, I saved the animals. Mm-hmm. I took a step up, not to mention the souls of human beings that were saved. It's just such a fantastic passage.
I think it's fair to say Jonah had a bad attitude.
Slightly.
Say that. Let's see what we got here. Number 6. Haman's honor parade backfire. Esther's funny from start to finish.
I couldn't remember this one. I had to go back and read it.
Esther, yeah. Esther is a funny book to preach. A funny, you should make movies. They've made some movies that should make them funnier because this is a funny story. Because everything is ironic in this story. Mm-hmm. Haman goes to the king, and the king says, what would you do now? You read it, so you keep me straight. Yeah. What would you do for the man the king wants to honor?
That's right. Yeah, he's trying to juice the king up.
Right.
To show honor to the one that the king really holds in high regard.
Right.
And he knows it's him.
It's got to be Haman. It's got to be me. Yeah.
Wink, wink. You know who I'm talking about, King.
Right. But as it turns out, Mordecai is who the king actually has in mind, who is Haman's sworn mortal enemy.
Yes.
You know.
King's like, good idea.
Yeah.
I want to honor Mordecai.
And I want you, Haman,
Yeah.
to go and set a parade up and
Yeah.
go walk. Here's the man the king delights to honor.
There's a great line at the end of the little passage you included there where he's like, and Haman went back to his home with his head hung in shame.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, his head was hung in shame.
It reminds me of when SpongeBob thought he was going to be the manager of the Krusty Krab 2. He was so sure.
I thought I was going to be the
Yeah.
manager.
And Mr. Krabs has to tell him it's called manager, not kidager. Because he's a kid.
That's good. Hey, look, Dakota Rice has a comment for her babe.
Oh, many hearts
Many
there.
hearts, many pink hearts. Love you, Dakota. How about Rhoda leaving Peter at the door?
It's my favorite.
Number 5.
My favorite.
Acts 12. Well, then you can tell us what happens here in Acts 12.
Yeah,
please
so
do.
I will tell you,
So fun.
Jason,
Funny story.
about the Bible. Okay? So
Pastor Jason, all right.
Peter has been in
First time I've ever heard the name Rhoda, by the way. Go ahead.
Great.
Yeah.
If anybody's pregnant, looking for a baby name, Rhoda. Peter is in prison, and the church, the believers are praying at the house of a lady named Mary. Actually, John Mark's mother. That's a deep cut.
That's a good
And Peter was released by an angel of the Lord from prison, so he goes back to the house where they're praying for him to be released. He knocks upon the door, and that's right.
Acts commentary
Little
by
commentary.
Gavin Slade Brown.
Yeah, only the first half, chapters 1 through 14.
What is this? Really?
That's a real thing.
If you want to know anything about the Jerusalem Council, I haven't gotten there yet.
It's in 15, so sorry, everybody.
So Rhoda, who's a little servant girl, she goes to the door, and Peter's there, and he's like, "Hey, it's Peter. I'm here."
Yeah.
And
An angel released him.
she recognizes
miraculous.
his voice, and
Yeah.
like, "Oh my gosh, it's Peter." She's so excited, she doesn't let him in. She runs back to the believers, and she says, "Peter's at the door." And they said, "First of all, you're out of your mind."
Yeah.
And then she's like, "No, it's really him." And they said, "It's probably his ghost."
Yeah. Just a ghost of Peter.
They're praying that God would miraculously release him
Yeah.
from prison.
That's so funny.
It's just funny. It's so odd that they're like, "It's probably his ghost."
Yeah. And then they're like, let him in.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, why are we
Like,
leaving him out at the
Yeah,
door?
and it's like, "Oh yeah,
One of the funniest moments in the Bible.
you should let him in."
It's
Yeah.
just hilarious.
It is.
'Cause they're like, but there's such a lesson there for us. It's like we pray for things and we don't really think God
Yeah.
is going to hear that prayer. Yeah. So they're praying, Lord, set him free, release him miraculously.
Yeah.
He's at the door. He's
Right.
like, I can't be him.
And the first thing they call her, they want to commit her. They're like, "The Lord's answered our prayer." You're nuts.
Right.
You're out of your mind.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Peter's just standing out there like,
Is somebody going to let me
"Cold out
in?
your eye," you know.
The message says that Peter said, "Rude."
Number 4. Eutychus versus the long sermon. Another Acts story, but you didn't get that far.
I know
you
the
only
story,
got to verse
though,
14.
yeah.
This is when Paul is preaching, and it's a long, long sermon, and Eutychus, a young guy, is sitting in a window, which don't do that.
We can all relate. Long sermon.
He falls out the window and it
falls
kills him. He
Yes,
dies.
But then they raise him back.
And he
from
raise
the dead.
him
That's
back
right.
up from the dead.
Yeah,
Now that's just funny. That's funny on so many levels.
it is.
Yeah.
Well,
It's funny because they raise him from the dead. It's not.
yeah, it would be
That's
funny
right.
without the miracle. It'd
Yeah.
be tragic.
Well, I think it would still be funny anyway from our point of view. I mean, because
You
the guy was
killed him
preaching
from
and
the
he
sermon.
fell asleep and died.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a little bit cliche. that
Right.
people fall asleep during a sermon.
Yeah.
It's like, Paul, let's land the plane.
Yeah.
How long was the sermon for somebody to fall out of a window?
Pretty long, I think.
Pretty long.
Yeah.
I just think that the Bible makes a joke about long sermons and people falling asleep during
yeah.
the sermon. I mean, I know it's not a joke per se, like I believe it really happened. But as you read this text, clearly the tongue's in the cheek and there's a little laugh like,
Yeah.
remember Eutychus?
Yeah.
I mean, so long sermons, too long of a sermons have been going on since the very beginning.
From the beginning. That's right.
It's just right.
People are like,
Early days.
so glad Paul's like, okay, in conclusion, and then like 2 hours later.
Yeah.
Eutychus is thinking any minute they're going to start singing Just As I Am.
Yeah.
Please.
Have you guys ever, we all three preach, Gavin's preaching this Sunday at Flint Hill.
Amen.
Tune in.
Tune in.
Amen.
So we all three preach, but have you ever been sitting in a sanctuary listening to someone else preach, like recently, and kind of starting to nod off and saying to yourself, now I understand?
No, not recently.
I have.
But I've been there.
Not recently, but
Yeah. And even if it's a good sermon, I find myself, because when the older you get, it's like,
if you sit down and sit still long enough,
yeah, this.
you know.
Well, what is the, there's a word of advice that people tell preachers, which is, what is it? Don't preach past the point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Preach the point, which we may actually be doing right now. With
Preaching
this.
past the point.
Yeah, let's go to number 3.
There you go.
Oh, the Elijah's prophets of Baal roast from 1 Kings 18:26
Classic.
through 29.
Which roast? Like the
It's the one where
This is more like he roasts them. Dude, he roasted y'all.
oh, the actual
Like, what are
literal
your- yeah.
roasting.
well, there's fire from heaven.
Oh, this is still, that's right.
There is fire.
Or the
I thought it was like, were your gods
where's
taking
your
a
God?
dump?
Yeah, were they taking?
I think it's that. Yeah, I think it's that story where it's like, hey, dig a pit, dig a trench around it,
Yeah.
put water in it, and he's just kind of like more and more and more and more until finally fire comes from heaven. And
So you were talking about the literal, like, fire. I thought
Barbecue.
you were like, it's a, like people have a roast.
well, he's roasting them.
He does
Wow, and then there's a roasting.
Yeah.
Literally,
It's a both.
it's a both end.
Because the line where he's like, where are your gods? Maybe they're relieving themselves.
Yeah.
That's what I thought you meant by the
Well,
roast.
that's in there. Yeah, that's one of the funny lines. But he's roasting them
Baal.
for sure.
How do you say that?
What's that?
Baal.
Yeah, I don't know the right way to say it.
Baal.
Baal.
That's the southern way I
Balaam.
grew up with, and still can't say it.
Balaam's donkey.
But I think it's probably Baal is what people say these days, like in academic whatever. And I just took all the fun out of it. Verse number 2, Balaam's talking donkey from Numbers 22.
Balaam.
Balaam.
Balaam. How do you say that one?
Balaam.
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 Balaam. There's a. I think we sometimes forget there's a talking donkey in the Bible.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What the donkey say? I forget though.
I can't remember.
Oh,
But remind me to tell you off camera a funny story about this story.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll just leave it at that. There's
Yeah,
a talking.
we'll just leave it at
There's a talking donkey in the Bible. And now, the number 1 funniest moment recorded in all the Bible is this. Ehud,
Yeah. Yep.
he's left-handed,
the left-handed
Yes.
Benjamin.
So am I.
and they pierced him all the way up to the hilt.
That's
Yeah.
right.
With the sword.
They get the old switcheroo.
I'm gonna-
Bait and switch.
That's how fat he was. The whole
Yeah.
sword went in.
Yeah. That's right.
This is the closest the Bible gets to having a fat joke. And look, if you're overweight out there, we're not making fun of anybody. I'm just telling you, if you go read Judges 3:12 through 30, you'll see it for yourself.
Yeah.
This guy was overweight and beyond the normal obesity. I mean,
They're just telling you what happened.
Yeah. And so when Ehud, how do y'all say his name?
Ehud.
Ehud.
When he stabbed the dagger, left-handed, so he's
left-handed like me.
It says in the text that it went so deep into the king's fat that the fat slops around and just sucks it into
That's right.
his gut.
It's lodged.
And there's another bathroom joke here too, because
Yes.
Ehud escapes, and then all the king's soldiers are there, worried about him because they're like, "Where is he? Maybe he's in the bathroom."
Yeah.
And
They're like, he's you know him. He's just taking care of business.
he's probably just taking care of business. So they're waiting, trying to be patient.
Buys Ehud some time
By some,
to escape. And they're finally like, we probably need to go check on him.
yeah, I think by
Fell
far
in.
the funniest moment in the Bible is Ehud, and,
pretty good.
Eglon's the fat king's name, and it's just like.
Yep.
So funny when it gives that detail of the fat slops around and sucks the dagger in.
And it's almost like The Godfather, because Ehud, I went back and read this one too. He's like, Eglon thinks that Ehud's being friendly with him, and they get alone, and Ehud says, God's got a message for you.
Yeah.
It's very like mafia-like.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
The Lord's got a message for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. He gets him.
Come here. May the king live forever.
Let's take a ride. That's what the message says.
Oh, wow, so good. All right, everybody. I'm sure you're thinking of some, pick up your Acts commentary by Gavin Slade Brown.
Sure
available.
Slade.
Man, I sure wish that was been up a little
Slade.
more. Hear me?
Yeah.
Sure wish that was greased up a little more.
Time in there.
I don't see any dog ears.
Seriously, man, what a great
Man,
little
I
study
gotta write a
tool.
book.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
To
you.
be in this club.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Well, get on
That's
that.
right.
I'm trying.
What would it be about?
I have no idea.
Astrophotography
Yes.
and theology, like how those two things overlap?
Maybe.
Ooh, the heavens are telling. Boom, there's your title.
I feel like giving your lovely wife, you might have some inroads into
Ooh,
publication,
that's
publishers, and giving her
Some
job
contacts.
at Broadman Holman. Today on our Isaiah Bible reading time, don't sign off. Don't do it. Don't.
Hang on, I just heard.
Stop.
Just heard my dad close the app.
Don't.
He's like,
Fun's over.
he's like, I like it when y'all are funny.
I like it when
I
you
turn it off.
But when we get to Bible reading, this is actually a really encouraging passage in the midst of a lot of whoa.
All the woes.
Chapter 25 of Isaiah, which the ESV titles God Will Swallow Up Death Forever. And it's not very long. It's just, I think, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 verses, so not very long. But one of the most encouraging little oases.
Oasis.
I don't know how you'd say it. I don't know.
Of in Isaiah. So here we are, and we have Jason back. So why don't you read it for us? And
Which is important to say, the chapter headings and section headings are not originally in the
they're
Bible.
not
right.
part of it. No, but they are helpful.
Helpful?
Sure.
Yes.
And the message heading here is probably something like, a brief moment of rainbows and sunshine.
Yeah.
Something like
In
that.
God
the
gonna
message.
win.
That's right. Yeah. All we do is win, win, win. That's what it
Yeah.
says.
All right, here we go. Isaiah chapter 25. O Lord, you are my God. I will exalt you. I will praise your name. For you have done wonderful things, plans formed of old, faithful and sure. For you have made the city a heap, the fortified city a ruin. The foreigner's palace is a city no more. It will never be rebuilt. Therefore strong peoples will glorify you. Cities of ruthless nations will fear you. For you have been a stronghold to the poor, a stronghold to the needy in his distress, a shelter from the storm and a shade from the heat. For the breath of the ruthless is like a storm against a wall, like heat in a dry place. You subdue the noise of the foreigners as heat by the shade of a cloud, so the song of the ruthless is put down. On this mountain the Lord of hosts will make for all peoples a feast of rich food, a feast of well-aged wine, of rich food full of marrow, of aged wine well refined. And he will swallow up on this mountain the covering that is cast over all peoples, the veil that is spread over all nations. He will swallow up death forever, and the Lord God will wipe away tears from all faces, and the reproach of his people he will take away from all the earth, for the Lord has spoken. It will be said on that day, Behold, this is our God. We have waited for him, that he might save us. This is the Lord. We have waited for him. Let us be glad and rejoice in his salvation. For the hand of the Lord will rest on this mountain, and Moab shall be trampled down in this place, as straw is trampled down in a dunghill.
What?
And he will spread out his hands in the midst of it, as a swimmer spreads his hands out to swim. But the Lord will lay low his pompous pride together with the skill of his hands. And the high fortifications of his walls he will bring down, lay low, and cast to the ground to the dust.
Yep.
That's the word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Amen. Wow, what a passage, man.
They say Isaiah is the gospel of the Old Testament.
Yeah.
And here it is, baby.
Yeah, I mean, now we see where Paul in 1 Corinthians gets this death is swallowed up forever. And in John in
Wipe
Revelation,
away their tears.
you will wipe every tear from their eyes. Man. And then we're singing Sunday, behold our God, seated on his throne, come let us adore.
Good tune. Jason Rice knows that.
Behold.
Southwest Revival.
I love that. I love that. Behold, this is our God. Hey, look. I mean, that's what behold means.
Yeah.
Hey, check it out. Here he is.
The message. Yeah.
Such good stuff. And, he's talking about the being rescued from the foreigner and all that. But then he immediately turns around and says, there's for all peoples. On this mountain, the Lord of hosts will make for all peoples
That's right.
this feast. And so it's like beyond the gates of Israel, beyond, the people of God as they were chosen. And it's like to the ends of the earth,
Isn't it interesting that in the Old Testament, like, it's there. The Jews didn't see it, right? But it's there, that the gospel that God will save all, like Hosea says, he'll then say to those who are not my people, you are my people.
Yeah.
And there's these little moments, these glimpses that are in the Old Covenant that eventually salvation will be for all.
It's like it's kind of like circling the drain, and like the Old Testament is everything's being sucked into Jerusalem.
Ooh.
And then at the cross and Jesus' resurrection, then everything explodes and goes out from Jerusalem to all.
I like that, the funnel. That's
I was
good.
thinking about a toilet bowl, so the metaphor didn't work as well for me, because when you said explodes, I thought,
He said
I
funnel.
never want that.
He just said funnel.
That's true. Yeah, we said, it's like
Centrifugal.
spiraling. No, it's a good, that's right. That's a good way to read the Old Testament. But I think those hints, gosh, that's not a hint. Those are more than hints that we
Very
just
direct.
read.
Yeah.
Those are like,
Yeah.
so if I was an Israelite, when Isaiah was alive and was writing this and I was reading that, I would think, I like the part where you're saying, woe to Moab, woe to Damascus, destroy them. But when you get to God is going to prepare a feast for all people and death will be swallowed up forever, I'm like, that's not for everybody.
Yeah.
That's just for us.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? That would make me angry.
Yeah.
Because they were so nationalistic. I mean, look at Jonah. We mentioned Jonah.
Yeah.
That's why he was mad. It's like, it's us.
Syrians.
Only us.
I presume that they wouldn't have been mad because they wouldn't. I don't think they would have interpreted. I think they're like, yeah, we're the all people.
We're all people.
Maybe
Yeah.
so.
Well, Isaiah talks about the coastlands, all the time, and that would have been all.
I think he says, yeah. You see, even Tyre and Sidon. He's like,
does.
I think,
What am I talking about?
Listen.
How about the phrase "For the Lord has spoken"? What a great phrase.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
the Lord has spoken. Here we are in
Segue.
Ephesians, and we're not going to do a ton in Ephesians today. As you see, it's already 7:43. Thanks for sticking with us, everybody. Love you guys, whether you're watching now or later, which is a candy. Happy Halloween.
Now and later. Now or later.
15 of Ephesians 4 says, rather, speaking the truth in love, we are to grow up in every way into Him who is the head, into Christ, from whom the whole body, joined and held together by every joint with which it is equipped, when each part is working properly, makes the body grow up so that it builds itself up in love. My personal opinion about the theology of these two verses is nobody could ever make this stuff up. If it's not real, then there's no way it could even exist.
Right.
Because it's just too, there's too much. But 17, now this I say and testify in the Lord that you must no longer walk as the Gentiles do. Write this down, Gavin. In the futility of their minds. Paul wants us to use our minds. Paul saying that salvation is something that happens in the mind of people as well as in their soul or heart or whatever. 18, they are darkened in their understanding, alienated from the life of God because of the ignorance that is in them, due to their hardness of heart. They have become callous, like this on my finger, due to throwing a plastic disc, and have given themselves up to sensuality, greedy to practice every kind of impurity. This too is the word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Yeah. And we can pray. Somebody, you want to lead us?
Yeah, I'll pray. Lord, this is your day. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. We just thank you for your word. May it Lord, dwell richly in our hearts, land in good soil in our hearts, and take root. And we just pray, Lord, that you would make it abound for every good work that you prepared for us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Okay, so just a little context from last week. He's talking about not being tossed like children, human doctrine, every wind of doctrine, human cunning. Don't be that way. Grow up, be mature. Don't be suckered into things and all the rest. And then speak the truth in love to people.
Yeah.
What's after this in chapter 5, the household code stuff?
Yeah.
Is that what's next?
Yep.
Yeah, marriage.
Right.
Marriage is, later in the
Marriage.
chapter. So, yeah. But speaking the truth in love as a general principle, of course, we need to see the context of that statement, which we're trying to highlight here. But just generally speaking, as a principle, this is something we talk about a lot. We talk about political discourse. We talk about, raising children, friendships, iron sharpens iron, discipleship. Whatever it is we're talking about, this principle of, you have these two things, truth and love, that we try to figure out how to bring those two things together. And so I thought, listen, man, that's a difficult thing to do. I mean, we hear it and we say, okay, there's a lot of wisdom there. I need to be bold. I need to speak the truth. But as I do it, I want to be sure I love the person and show that I don't hate them and I'm not trying to criticize them or tear them down, all at the same time. What's funny to me about the passage is he says, we've got to speak the truth in love. And then he immediately says, the Gentiles are idiots.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he actually says, I'm just kind of jumping ahead to prove it, they're ignorant.
Yeah.
I'm not making it up. He says they're alienated from love because they're ignorant.
Yep.
So speaking the truth in love, whatever it is, truth is really a big part of it. Like you can't not say what's true.
Yeah, that's right. And this same Paul will say that the gospel is an offense to those who are perishing.
Yeah.
So it's this tension, right? I mean, because you can say true things and be sinning and be a terrible ambassador for the gospel and be a jerk while saying something that is biblically accurate.
You can say that so there's I guess you could say there's options. I don't know how many until I work it out. But you could say someone could speak the truth in hate, or someone could speak the truth in love, or someone could speak falsity in hate or falsity in love, or someone could speak the truth. Yeah. Oh, that's it.
Yeah,
I just
four
worked it all
options.
out.
Yeah,
So you have four
options.
options. So,
Of course, one of them I feel is a little bit of a false dichotomy.
which one?
Well, if you're speaking falsehood in love, you only think you're doing it in love.
But that's probably the most common way people.
Oh, that's the spirit of the age.
Yeah. In other words, if someone looks horrible,
Yeah.
and they, but you don't want to make them feel bad because after all, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. So you say, "Oh, honey, you look so good today," or whatever. But actually, they look terrible, and they need somebody to help them figure out. Then you're speaking falsehood in love, because you're trying to love the person. But I guess the worst of the four is to speak falsehood in hate.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
I can't think of an example of that. Where you lie to someone, you speak falsehood, and you do it because you hate them and you're trying to tear them down. So in every way, you're trying to hurt the person.
Yeah. Yeah. You think of sort of the militant atheism, possibly.
That's a good one.
Sort of the anti-theist, sort of some of the Christopher Hitchens. What's the other guy that teaches at Tufts? Daniel Dennett. Some of that
Richard
rhetoric.
Dawkins.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's falsehood and hate in a lot of ways.
I don't think they think they're being hateful, though. That might not be a good example.
I think the four horsemen of the apocalypse, four horsemen of the new atheism, they were pretty. Christopher Hitchens is a little bit different, and Richard Dawkins has changed a lot. But I think in the day when they were really riding the horse, to use a metaphor, they they were very hateful to Christians. They were very hateful.
They were, but I felt...
Sam Harris was very hateful toward any religious people.
But I think that they thought that they're actually doing something that's good for humanity.
Well, maybe so. So did Hitler.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. No one talks about his paintings. Yeah, it's a line from 30 Rock.
It's a good one, too. I think
They should have let him in the art school.
They should have.
Who knows what could have been?
If Coach had just put me in the fourth quarter, things had been different.
Alternative history.
Speaking the truth in love, though, man, I just think if you're going to pastor a church and you're really going to take that on as a calling in your life, this is a principle that's got to be at the forefront of everything you do. You have somebody, whether it's preaching or somebody's in the office or you're in a deacon's meeting or whatever it is, evangelism, talking to somebody about the Lord. It's like this principle is just always at play. You know, I've got to tell people the truth. They're sinners, whatever it is. If they die, they're not going to be with the Lord forever. I got to tell people hell is real. I got to tell them the truth. That's what I'm called to do. But I think a lot of pastors and a lot of churches miss out on the love side of that. And it's like, you said the word jerk. There are a lot of Christians that are jerks.
Yeah.
And they tell the truth in a way that unnecessarily offends people. The gospel will offend people, no doubt about it.
Right.
But why do I have to unnecessarily offend somebody? You know, that's a big question. And I don't have to unnecessarily offend anybody.
That's right. I think this shows up quite regularly just in the course of the Christian life, interacting with other believers.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, I know that I have at times avoided or shrunk back from a conversation that I feel I ought to have with someone because I really don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Maybe it's actually could be my own self-centeredness that I actually don't want to feel what I might feel if someone else is upset with me. But there's not the converse of speaking the truth in love is not necessarily speaking falsehood. It could just be remaining silent.
Yeah.
And
now you're stepping on toes, buddy.
Not. It's like my dad said one time. I told that preacher, "You really stepped on my toes today." He said, "Sir, I wasn't aiming at your toes." But you could just be remaining silent and just not speaking the truth, or just being silent.
Not speaking at all. Yeah.
Not speaking at all.
Well, this is a huge principle, and I think Paul tried his best to live by it and write by it, according to the Holy Spirit's inspiration in his life. But everything we read from Paul is truth in love. So it's really something we should meditate on all the time when we analyze ourselves and our ministries and the way we connect with people. I mean, even this podcast, I hope that what is portrayed once it gets out to people who listen to it is those guys speak the truth, but we want it to be full of love. And to me, love is so multifaceted, agape love. And part of love is being able to laugh with people and connect with people. And so that's part of why we do the funny shtick, is because we want to be loving toward people.
It's my love language.
Yeah.
In the context that I was just speaking about, I've had Christian brothers throughout the course of my life, on a few occasions, come and speak to me to bring correction to me, and they do it. And there's no mistaking when someone is speaking the truth to you in love. Yeah, you just feel it emanating from the way they, and so you can actually have a hard conversation with someone. And I received those things every time because I was like, this person loves me. This person cares about my welfare. They're not trying to get me. Yeah. That sort of thing.
And I think from stories, I don't know JJ that well. But I do know him enough to love the guy. Goodness. Mm-hmm. But you've told me stories. Randy's told me stories.
No, in my youth.
Yeah. Where JJ could confront and speak the truth, but there was no doubt it was just overwhelming love for you guys and trying to keep you on the straight and narrow and all this.
Well, if nothing else, at great personal cost to him, his time, his effort. I mean, he would just really go the extra mile. I mean, rough talk you a little bit if you needed it as a young man. But at the same time, I mean, he'll give up his whole day, his whole week.
Yeah, I love people like that.
Yeah.
I just, that's really something. I was in my first time in Peru. Jason, you probably can relate to this, but we landed in Lima late at night and immediately got into a taxi to go to a hotel, and we got right into Peruvian driving in the middle of Metro Peru, and I was delirious from the flight. And Craig Lawrence, who's an elder here at the church, he was there. It was the two of us in the back seat of a taxi. And I immediately started, which I'm prone to do, saying, "Whoa, this is crazy,"
Yeah.
So it's the two of us and this taxi driver. And Peruvian driving is crazy.
Oh, it's wild.
I mean, it's wild.
You just
And
gotta let it happen.
it wasn't like I didn't think I was being offensive. I was just pointing out the obvious, you know. But Craig, who is very level-headed and, very kind and just, he was like,
Sit back.
Hand on the arm.
Whoa, we'll be unto the man.
He said,
Whoa.
"Jason, I don't think this is appropriate."
Yeah.
And I was like, and he woke me up to the cultural moment of what was happening. And for years after that, I told him, I still mention it to him, you had the boldness to say, "Stop." You can't keep doing that.
Settle down.
And I think I realized I was in a moment personally where I really couldn't help myself because it was a long flight. I was delirious. It was late at night. Didn't know Peruvian driving was like this. Didn't know what Lima looked like. I mean, it was just like my body and experience sort of compelled me into that outrageous behavior. But a brother came along and said, "No, we're not doing that. You can't do that." And I think that's a metaphor for how this speaking the truth in love works. For there are times I always feel like, who am I to say anything to anybody? I'm a worse sinner than they are.
Yeah.
So sometimes I stop myself from speaking the truth, whether it's love or not, because I'm like, I'm not worthy to speak the truth.
Well, which could be biblical contextually. Like, you always want to make sure that the plank is not in your eye when you're trying to remove the speck from someone else's.
Which is another funny moment in the Bible.
Yeah, right.
The whole,
That's right. Remember the band Plank Eye?
Plank eye. Yeah.
I never knew that's where they got their name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How about that? Learn something new every day. Well, do y'all have anything to add? Because I think we're going to land the plane here.
If you go to verse 17 or 18,
Yeah.
that's getting too far ahead.
No,
isn't
go
it?
ahead.
I was going to say something about that. Just that in here, Paul is describing what is, unless the Spirit, verse 18, unless the Holy Spirit of God awakens, convicts, and of course we know that Gentiles here in verse 17 is just code for unbelievers.
Yeah.
It made me think of Edwards, Mr. Edwards' expert, freedom of the will.
Yes.
Which is this notion that the will is only free to choose what displeases God until the Spirit comes and does something in the heart and draws someone unto the gospel, unto Jesus. And it made me think just maybe a little bit of a rebuke to fellow brothers and sisters is people who don't follow Jesus, we ought not expect anything from them. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be this way. Well, if we believe God's word here, if people who don't have the Spirit of God are alienated from the life of God, if they're ignorant, if their hearts are hardened,
what else do we expect?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get cleaned up before you come to Christ.
I think that's one of the biggest dangers of Christian nationalism as an understanding or as an ideology.
Agreed.
Is the idea that as a nation we should all be acting like Christians. Well, first of all, you got to be a Christian to act like a Christian.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And so you just can't expect just because a person's an American that they're going to understand or have the spirit to be able to live the life of God. You know. So that's only part. I would say that's like one of the most practical problems with Christian nationalism. I can give you 10 or 20 other theoretical problems with it. But yeah, you just can't. If someone's a homosexual and you're a Christian, you can't. You know, and they're an
great
unbeliever.
Example. Yeah.
And you say, well, you shouldn't. You know, be that way or live that way. Yeah. Well, but why not? I mean, if they're not a believer, they don't have the equipment or the theology or the understanding to realize there could be something wrong with that.
Yeah, if you're talking to someone who is gay, the conversation should not be about their sexuality whatsoever.
No, that's right. I agree. And that's truth in love.
Right.
I mean, so if you love a person, you're going to go to where they are and speak to them at that point, as opposed to, you know. So there's a whole lot to say here, and there's so much practical stuff in this teaching, but we'll have to get to it next time. Guys, we'll just have to get to it next time.
We will.
You know, because it's 8 o'clock, and I just think that's the
Lord wills.
That's the way it goes.
It's time to go to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, time to get a little food.
What do you like? The minis? Do you like the minis? The minis are great.
I like the whole biscuit.
Chick-fil-A's biscuits are
every little
dog
crumb.
water, as middle schoolers say.
That's pretty. I don't know if that's truth in love.
Chick-fil-A, it's not. Chick-fil-A make a better biscuit.
I think it's falsehood and hate, actually.
No.
And whenever you criticize the Beach Boys, falsehood and hate.
Let me tell you something. And then I restrain myself.
Their harmonic progressions are
mid.
No.
Mid.
Wish they all could be California.
Listen.
Be California.
I said it once, I'll say it again. It's one of those things where you're supposed to fall in the line. You're supposed to be a conformist and say the Beach Boys are Brian Wilson's a genius.
You're speaking the truth in love now, aren't you?
And what I would like to say,
I don't hear any love in this.
Respectfully. No, let's finish up.
Oh man, it's good stuff. Club Long Suffering. There's a few of you hanging with us right now, so thank you, and thank you if you're watching this later and you went all the way from the beginning to the end. You're in this exclusive club, and we love you and appreciate you. Are giving our algorithm opportunities a real chance by hanging with us all the way to the very end.
Fighting chance.
Fighting chance. So thank you. Any last words, guys, before we shut her down?
It's good to see Jason or Rice back.
Yeah. Very much so.
What's your actual middle
Next
initial?
commentary. I think you can get this on. Can you get this on Amazon?
You can get that nowhere.
Oh, how do I get a copy of it?
You have to know me, I guess.
Well,
reach out to me.
Gavin at GavinRRhymes.com?
Yeah, Gavin at FlintHill.net.
Gavin at FlintHill.net.
Gavin Slade.
Right. What do these run, about $28?
You'd be surprised how cheap they are to get them, which I just paid for them myself, you know.
Yeah. Well,
I've only got like 10 copies, so get them while you can.
Yeah, get them while you can. They're hot off the press. And then maybe one day we'll get 15 through 28.
Yeah, sometime in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
It takes me a long time to get through X.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you joined us and hope you have a great Friday and a great weekend. And we'll, Lord willing, see you back next Friday, 7 a.m. here at Rock Mountain Live. Take care, everybody.
Yep.
Maybe you were laid up sick in bed. Maybe you woke up and your goldfish was dead. You might be getting older and you just can't drive at night. There's a lot of reasons that you might have missed church, but you can still dig into the Word. So pull up a chair and open up your mind to Rock Mountain Live. Rock Mountain Live, it's time to thrive. Don't hit the snooze, we got good news. Oh, Rock Mountain Live.